And we met at a supermarket, typical Stephanie style. He asked me for my number. We lived in the same neighborhood. And I said, of course. He was charming, interesting, good intro. He asked about my shopping list. I'm like, oh, where did you find that? Something about curcuma. What do you call them in English? Well, it's turmeric crackers. It's like, where did you find those turmeric crackers? And I was like, oh, they're in aisle, da da da, the health food aisle. Oh, it's like, next time, chit chat, hee hee ha ha. Ask for my number, and we go out on the first date. And he would be a candidate that I would typically really be interested in. Multicultural, well traveled, rings a bell, no? Multicultural, well traveled, speaks several languages, works for some multinational company at this moment in time. I don't know which one, and travels a great deal for his work. So we decided to, I say yes, he messages me, hey, how about Thursday or Friday? And I said, no, Thursday's better. Let's meet up for drinks. Okay, so we meet up and we choose a place and on the others and the different neighborhood just to change it up. We meet up there and super fun date, just fun conversation. He is just as charming as he was at the supermarket, but now, in more appropriate garments and not supermarket garments, which are usually sweats. Conversation about work, about the city. He had been in a relationship, a long-term relationship for 15 years, and he's been single now for a year and a half. So the whole dating process and how things are going for him, and obviously his whole process. And it was just a fun day, lots of laughter. And when there's just that right amount of tension, and you're wondering, when's that kiss going to happen? Is it going to happen today? Is it going to happen in the next date? When is it going to happen? As the conversation progresses, we step outside to get some fresh air, or maybe he was smoking, so maybe yeah, he was smoking. So we stepped outside to me to get some fresh air for him to have a cigarette. And then we go back inside, more hee hee ha ha, and he plants one on me. Plants one on me. Out of nowhere. And it was dramatic. I didn't know exactly what to do. Let's be clear here. I have no problem with smoking. I don't prefer smoking, but I don't actually, it's not a deal breaker for me. So it's not the cigarette smoke or the cigarettes. But his kissing technique was, I think, closer to a windshield wiper than, yeah, I think it was closer to a windshield wiper. I was taken aback. Like, what do I do now? So I just smile and okay, smile this off. And we kept chatting and da da da. He goes for another one and same. And I just, okay, I can't do this anymore. My goodness. Okay. So we keep chatting, da 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 da. And he offers to walk me home. And I go, oh, no, no, don't worry. I'm going to take a cab. I'm going to take a cab because I have to go to work early in the morning. And I think he just stayed around in the area to have one last one. I was saved by the fact that he wanted to grab a last one. As a friend of his was passing by, and since I was going in the cab, then he decided to just keep going with that friend. Oh my goodness. Thankfully, that was a Thursday. I had to work the next day, and his company told him that he had to travel the following week. So this week's travel that came up for him and workload for me that just peaked made it easier for us to not have the second date. But it was actually a pity because I liked the guy. I really liked the guy. He was really charming, really interesting, really fun. But what was I going to do with that kiss? Was I actually going to give him tutoring? No, I wasn't. So, my friends, You actually have that first date. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited. We don't know how things are going to go, but there's some basics here that we need to just walk through quickly to make sure that we don't have that happen. Please, none, no windshield wiping. No, no, not allowed. Break this down: pre, during, and post. Pre date, before you get on that date. You must be open-minded. You have to be open-minded to be able to engage in conversation with this person, to just go with the flow, to laugh things off, to leave a good impression, and to think that regardless of what happens with this person, whether this turns out to be the love of your life, the one you've been waiting for all along, or simply another anecdote, it's a person that's enriching your world during a small season, a small window of time that you get to share with them and they share with you. Enjoy it. It's a gift. Enjoy it. So that needs to be your mentality before you go into the date. Remember, this is just a first date. The first couple of dates, keep it low key. Low key. No Michelin star dinners, no expensive ticket items. No, low key dates. You simply want to test if there's feeling, if there's vibe, if there's connection, if there's chemistry. Just keep it low key. So there's a little pressure. Low key. Coffee, walks in the park, free exhibitions. These are all wonderful options. Low key. Have on hand, do some research beforehand, read Good News Network, or I think that's what it's called. Fun topics, fun conversation, lighthearted topics that'll be easy for you to engage with and to give you both all just a space of lightness, nothing too heavy, nothing too dramatic. If it gets there, it's fine, but if you can, just keep it light. Let's just keep it light. There'll be time for those heavy conversations, those soul wrenching and pouring out your guts. There's no need for that now. This is too intense. Fun topics. And lastly, on the grooming. Yeah, I'm talking about it. Grooming. Hair's under control. Showers taken. Showers with soap taken. I am going here. I don't care what your grooming habits are normally, but please, just please show up on the first date groomed. If you have pets, please keep pet hair under control. The person you're seeing might have an allergy, which clearly might be a deal breaker for you because you love your pets. I get that. But you don't want to provoke them an allergy attack just because you have a pet. And even if you're never going to see them again, you don't want to do that. Grooming. Remember, the body is a layer it's not negotiable. We all have one. So let's keep it as aesthetically pleasing for us and as easy to the eye for the other as well. And easy to the nose and all the senses. I mean, if you're coming right out of the gym, it might not be the best to go on a date. Or shower. Then shower at the gym, have a change of clothes, and then go on your date. I'm not showered from the gym. Let's not do that. Okay, got clear. Now, during the date, have fun. No matter what, have fun. Which means you need to be in a position and an attitude of just light-hearted, and it's going to be great. Even if I don't see them again, it's going to be great. I'm going to leave a good impression. As if it were a job interview, you want to leave a good impression, even if they don't choose you. You don't want them to think, oh, that candidate was awful, and them talking about you negatively for years. Don't want to do that. So just have fun. Let it be an enriching conversation, enriching time to just get to know another person without pressure. Just have fun, relax. In the 1970s, we went on dates without mobile phones. Can we do that again? Can we have a dinner without consulting your AI of choice, asking about something, or searching what date was the exact date that something happened? Let's try to be a little vintage in our dating. I think it will provoke new sensations for us, as well as open a whole dynamic of just richness, of actually observing the person, of being present, of sensing what your body feels like versus running to the distraction that is often our phone. If you get to kissing, you might. If you get to kissing, please remember, please, for my sake, less is more. Less is more. Start slow, then you can build up the intensity. Control the tongue. Tongue usage should be tempered, if at all, on that first peck, on the first kiss. Just be less is more. If you're going to play with the tongue slightly, just a little, just a little. No cobra. When a cobra is usually understood as I'm diving the kiss, but you know what I mean. These knives of tongues that are released out there, and you're like, good Lord, is this a katana? What is this? Less is more. If you have sex on the first date, which I don't recommend. Why? I, um, it's not a judgment call. I mean, I've done it. I don't think it doesn't predict an outcome or another. It's not a predictor. However, there are tendencies to think that it is a predictor. But what I want to make sure that you do is to not fall into a trap of just having sex on the first date. Otherwise, if you're actually looking for romance, then let that come slowly because sex is very complex. We'll talk about that later. And you don't want to put unnecessary pressure on it too soon without having enough context to support everything that might come up. Sex is complex, whether we want it to be or not. Even if we make it really transactional nowadays, it's complex. However, if you do decide to go here, remember SRT, safety, relaxation, and timing. Safety first. Gentlemen, gentlemen, gentlemen. If you're over the age of 18, and even if you weren't, but if you're over the age of 18, you're an adult. And by the time you're my age, which I'm not that old, but I'm definitely over 18, no woman wants to have a conversation about whether or not you're going to use a condom. Why are we still having this conversation? This is not a conversation to be had. If you have problems with condoms, you can go to sex therapists who can help you with it. There are YouTube videos. There are things that you can practice at home because you know you will be in the situation. If you've been divorced and you're now just re-engaging into the playground and you've had sex with your partner for many, many years and you haven't used a condom and you're trying to use a condom now for the first time in many, many years, practice at home. Practice at home. Have techniques on hand that will help you to have a proper erection for you to be able to put the condom in. It won't be as difficult when you're actually in the moment, in the heat of the moment. But let's not have conversations about whether or not we use them, especially on the first couple of dates. It's not a conversation to be had. Assume a condom, period. Relaxation. You both need to be in safety. It encompasses many things in terms of space and in terms of the communications that you've had, in terms of the practices that you're going to apply. Relaxation as well. You want to be as relaxed as possible in order for the encounter to be as positive as possible, which plays into timing. If you're trying to have a quickie with someone that's new is not really practical. It's not practical. You don't have the mechanics with this person down yet to have a good quickie. So don't just give yourself time. That first encounter that you're going to have, make sure that you don't have to run to a meeting in a couple hours because you work with a different time zone. Make sure that the agenda is clear. There will be no distractions. You can just relax into the moment. And some nuts and bolts, more nuts and bolts. Men offer to pay. Sorry, offer to pay. You will be better served to offer to pay in terms of you will become across as chivalry and gentlemen. You'll be better served if you offer to pay. And ladies, offer to split. If you're maintaining the rule of really low key, low barrier first dates in which there are no huge expenses, this will not even feel painful for you. However, if you're spending a great deal of money on these first dates, then just don't do that. And offering to pay, most women, especially most women over 40, will interpret that as a man's capacity to take care of her. I always appreciate the gesture. I don't find it necessary, but I do appreciate the gesture. But many women do feel it's necessary, and for them, it is a deal breaker. So to prevent being eliminated unnecessarily, just offer to pay. Please offer to pay. And if you offer, be prepared to pay. And ladies, let's be gracious. It is 2024. Let's split the bill. Let's offer to split the bill. And if you decide, oh, if he insists, then okay, no problem. Thank you so much. Then I'll get drinks afterwards. It's something that I've done before. You can keep the night going, and then you can, so that, I mean, life is expensive. We don't have to assume that, and dating can get expensive. So let's share the burden. And lastly, the golden rule. The golden rule. Treat people like you want to be treated. This is basic. This is so basic, but we don't do it. So treat them how you want to be treated during the date, in terms of the conversations, in terms of the gestures, in terms of the attention that you give them. Just treat them how you want to be treated. And lastly, so we have pre, we have during, and we have post. Golden rule applies to the post as well. Maybe leaving a message the next day. I don't care who does it first, but leaving a message, saying a note, saying thank you so much for your time. Gentlemen, please, if the woman says I had a great time with you and she's simply being gracious, do not assume that's enough to say that she's interested for a second date. Let her be slightly more explicit, because sometimes then you get cases in which there are not enough factors for her to want a second date, but she still wants to be, a well-educated person and be gracious and thankful and thank you for your time. But don't think that's enough to validate the case of, oh, she definitely wants to see me again. I do encourage people to go on a second date, though. If the date was, okay, it's okay. There was nothing red flag. There was nothing huge that went wrong. I would give someone a second chance, because that means you're also giving yourself a second chance. Remember, this is playground. Enjoy meeting people. Enjoy discovering. So, in that process, give yourself a second date and see what new stuff comes up, because these are layers. People are complex, and what nuances can you get a glimpse of that diamond? Is it at all visible, or all the layers, they go here to Jupiter? So, but explore that space. Just it'll be worth your while. Remember, golden rule when post dating. What can you what can you apply to yourself to remember to be more gracious in dating? See you tomorrow.